Hey everybody, Steve Billman here. Thanks for joining me. Today we are going to continue my video series, Rhythm Studies for Bass Players. And in that series, I have two parts. I have the advanced part and I have the basic part. Now, truthfully, both of them are challenging, but the advanced part obviously is harder. And that's what we're going to focus on today. So I've already done one video, 5/2, 5/3, 5/4 applied to groove. And I would recommend watching that one before you go to this one because again, it's a little easy, it's a little, not, I won't say necessarily easier, but it's a little bit more manageable 5/2 than 7/2. So it would be a good thing just to go back and sort of check that one out to see how it's done before you come to this one. But either way, we're going to go through this and we're going to learn about 7/2, 7/3, and 7/4. And we're going to apply it to a groove. So I'm going to do this in 3 separate videos just because it's a lot of information and there's a lot to practice for each one of those polyrhythms. So the first video that I'm doing now, we're going to learn 7/2. Then next one, the second video will be 7/3, and the third one will be 7/4. Okay, so we're going to talk about the 7 note. So what we call is a sextuplet. And that just simply means that there will be 7 notes in the space of each beat. All right. So that creates a tempo problem to a certain extent because 7 notes in a beat, obviously we're used to playing, 2 notes or 4 notes or 3 notes as a triplet, but 7 notes evenly spaced in a beat can be very challenging because it's fast. Even if you take it at a slow tempo, it's fast. And we're going to play at about 43 beats per minute. So we have to learn how to first count that and play that before we can get to the polyrhythm. Okay, so let's look at that first. So I'm going to put up here on the screen the first example, which is letter A. And you can see that they are written as 16th notes, but notice there's 7 of them. And the bracket says 7, just like a triplet, right? In terms of the bracket that covers the 3 notes. This is a bracket that's going to cover the 7 notes, and that's representing 1 beat. So notice that we're in 2/4 because it's going to be 7/2, so we're in 2/4. So each one of those groups of 7 represents a beat, and there are 2 of them, all right? So the first thing we need to do is we need to discover, first of all, how does that rhythm sound? And the second thing is how are we going to count it? Okay, so again, I've said this before, what I'm going to use is the South Indian counting. And again, I'm not claiming to be a great South Indian musician. I respect, their concept of time and stuff. I've loved it so much that I've just sort of made it my own. So this is just my approach to how I'm going to do this, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to count 4 and 3 for that particular grouping. So with the South Indian counting, we're going to use takadimi and then takite. Okay, so for each beat, takadimi, takite, takadimi, takite, takadimi, takite, takadimi, takite, ta. All right? So the important thing, or at least the first important thing about grasping this 7/2 concept is that those notes have to be evenly spaced. It can't be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. They've got to be evenly spaced like a 16th note is, or an 8th note, or even a triplet. So that's the first challenge that we're going to be up against. So again, I have my click at 43. When you're doing this on your own, if you need it slower, you can definitely put it slower. All right, let me find it first. Takadimi, takiti, takadimi, takiti, takadimi, takiti, takadimi, takiti, takiti, takadimi, takiti, takadimi, takiti, takadimi, takiti, ta. So notice that there's an accent after the 7 beats. Or sorry, not beats. I don't want to call them beats. They're notes. There's an accent after the 7 notes. Then we have beat 2. There's another accent. So that's just giving us 7 notes in the space of 1 beat. There's no polyrhythm there. It's a hard rhythm and it's a weird rhythm, but it's not a polyrhythm yet. Now what we're going to do is, and going back for a second, letter A, I would suggest just practicing that for a while. And actually, since I've said that, why don't we do it a couple more times? So I'll do it 8 times the whole thing. Let me find the 7s and then I'll count you in. Okay, I'll give you 2 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2. Tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, ta. All right, so you notice that after the 7 notes too, that I'm accenting the next beat, right? So every downbeat I'm accenting tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck, right? That's very important. The accents are very important. Okay, so that's letter A. So I would spend some time on that, just making sure that you're getting the grouping, the 7-note grouping in each beat correct, okay? Now let's look at B, and I'll put A and B together here so you can see both of them. Notice that it's a lower E. I'm going to stay on the higher, I'm going to stay on the harmonic, actually, the higher note, just because it cuts a little bit more and you can hear it a little bit better. Now notice that within those 7 notes, there are more accents. So to get 7 over 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to accent that sextuplet after every second note. Okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. All those accents are going to be after every second note. And if you count those accents, how many accents do we have? That's right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those 7 accents then are going to give us that 7 polyrhythm, the 7 over the 2 beats, okay? But again, we have to know A before we can do B. So we have to know where the sextuplet is. Then what we're going to do is, instead of counting taka-dee-me, takite, we're going to count taka, 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 taka. Because remember, the ta is representing the accents. So the Indian counting for 2 is taka, 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 taka. So every time you hit ta, there's an accent. Okay, so this obviously gives us the polyrhythm, and it makes it a little bit more complicated. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play A a couple times, and then I'm going to play B for you, okay? So here we go. Let me find the notes again. Here's 7s. Tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-a-dee-me, tuck-it. 2s. Tuck, 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 tuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Off. All right, so there you go. So you can hear at the last part of it, I hit the accent so you could actually hear that 7 over 2 that we created, okay? But when you practice it, you can hit both notes. Just making sure that you put the accent on that first, the first note of each 2. Okay, so that gives us the 7 over 2. All right, so if you look at it, letter A, we have 7 notes, right? In each beat, there's 2 beats, so 7 times 2 is 14 notes. Look at letter B. Now what we're doing is we're grouping it in 2s, so every second note is getting accented. That's giving us 7 accents. So it's reversed. 7, 2, 7 times 2, 14. 2 times 7 also is 14 notes. So I did a video on rhythm and looking at it as a building, right? It depends on which side you're looking at. Rhythm has more than one side, sort of. This is sort of that same concept. There's 14 notes. Whether I look at it, as a quintuplet, 7 notes in 2 beats, or I look at it as a polyrhythm 7/2, 2 accents on every 7 beats, it still gives me 14. So sorry, I'm going a little bit deep there, but it's just basic math, right? It's gonna, at the end of the day, it's gonna come out after those 14 notes. And I think I just said beats again. They're notes, they're not beats. So sorry about that. Okay, so that in itself is going to take you guys a little while just to work on that concept. Okay, so take your time with it. You have it on the video. You could stop here. And then for sure, try it with the metronome by yourself. If this is too fast, go slower. You go 35, 40, it doesn't matter as long as you get the rhythms correct. Okay, that polyrhythm. All right, but let's go on. Let's look at letter C. So now we're going to take those groupings, the phrasing in twos now, the polyrhythm, and we're going to apply it to 3 grooves. So let's look at the first one. Here's letter C. So I'm just going to show you the notes real quick. So we have 2 lower E's, then E, E, D, C sharp, B, G, G, A. Okay, sorry, I stammered there a little bit. It's hard to talk and play this, So after every higher note, we play the open E. Okay, so E, 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 D, C sharp, B, G, G, A. Okay, and notice that the accents are after every second note. So again, I would spend some time just getting those notes under your finger, and you might need to play this a little slower, but the goal is that you can practice it on your own, work your way up, you come back and you can play with the video. All right, so let me find first, I'm going to play letter A, I'm going to find the sextuplet. Here's letter C. All right, so there you go. That's letter C. Now, one thing you're going to notice, and I was going to talk about this later, but I think I'll do now, is the click is acting differently than it normally does. So usually when we're working on something, we play inside the click to make sure that our 16 notes or our eighth notes or triplets are landing on each beat. With this, notice that I'm not always with the click, but I am playing with the click, but I'm not always on the beats. So this is helping you to develop a real strong inner clock. And what you want to do is learn to listen to the click. So what I notice is that after that 4th group of 2, the click is coming in on the 2nd note of that. So that helps me to align if I'm a little bit fast, if I'm a little bit slow. I can realign myself and I start to hear how the click is relating to what I'm playing. And that's when you can really lock into it and groove to it. And when you do that, I don't want to get dramatic, but magic starts to happen because these grooves are deep when you really learn to lock them in. Okay. All right. So that's the first one. Again, practice it on your own. Come back to the video and play it. The next one is letter D, and there are going to be 2 examples in letter D. I'm going to do the first one first, obviously. So with this, I'm doing a bunch of hammer-ons. So a hammer-on just means I'm hitting D in this case, and I'm not restriking the E with my right hand. I'm slapping it sort of with my left hand. I'm hammering on. So that's going to be for this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, so for all of those that are 2 notes on the same string, I'm going to hammer on. Okay, so if I just play the line that you see without the metronome right now, it sounds like this. Okay, now the hard part, as always, is going to be we're going to have to line it up with the click. So again, I'm going to start with A. I always start with A to make sure I have the sextuplet. One, two. Okay, there you go. So again, at first it's going to be a little challenging. Don't worry. Practice it by yourself with a slower click and then come back and you can play with me. All right, so let's do the second one, and that's the second measure of letter D. And on this one, actually before we do the click, let me go through the notes. So again, I have two E's. Okay, so again, you might just take a little bit of time to work through the patterns first. Get them under your fingers before you try to add this to the 7. All right, so let's try to find this groove now inside of the sextuplet. One, two. All right, you guys, so there you go. So again, these are challenging rhythms. They're challenging patterns, but it's something just to work on. Like I said before, you don't have to play it at this speed. You can practice it by yourself using the metronome at a slower speed. I'm at 43 beats per minute, but you can go down to 35, 37, or 40. First, get letter A, like we talked about. Make sure that it's solid. Make sure that each note is evenly spaced. Then from there, work on B. Try to just get it so that you can hear that grouping of 7 over 2. That's the hardest part, really. Then once you do that, and do it with all the notes in letter B. But then once you get that, do it like I did it, the example I gave where I just played the accents at letter B, because that's even a little bit more challenging. So if you're able to do that, you're able to really start to hear the 7 over the 2. Okay. Then I would say go to C and make sure you have the notes first, and then do it slowly and try to play that 7 over 2 using that bass line and letter D as well. This is going to take you a little bit of time probably, but that's okay. And again, I didn't play any of these perfectly. These are the kind of things that I still work on, and they're still challenging to me. And as I always say, guys, these are exercises. These are examples of exercises. But there's no reason we can't use these in a creative way, in a musical way, to write music using these patterns, whether it's melodies, whether it's bass grooves, whether it's, solo pieces or just sections of a song, maybe endings. A lot of this stuff is in the Odd Dogs music. That's, kind of what's in me. So the idea is to keep practicing these. They become part of your vocabulary. They become part of your second nature. And then these rhythms will just start coming out in different ways, whether it's writing or soloing or whatever. All right. So I wish you guys the best, and I will see you guys on the next videos. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching my videos and supporting. Always support the subscribing and all that. And also my books are on my website. But I appreciate you guys so much. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.